Hey, it's Jen. I'm so glad you're here. This week, we have a little tidbit instead of a full episode. I'm going to share what's on my mind because today, for me, as I record this, is Christmas Eve. So if you celebrate Christmas, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Yule or solstice, whatever it is that you celebrate, may you enjoy the holidays that are upon us. What's been on my mind is darkness. And really leaning into the darkness. For years, as someone who suffered is the right word, with seasonal affective disorder, which is really, when it gets dark outside, having a hard time with not having much sunlight. And I'm in Minnesota, so it can get pretty dark here. Not as dark as our Canadian neighbors or people farther north than we are. And that darkness has led to kind of a heavier time of year for me most years, for as long as I can remember. And then my mom died almost 7 years ago in the winter, which just kind of exacerbated the whole thing. So I was kind of in this place of just thinking, like, pretty much December through February just sucks. She died in February. And this year, as I've been doing some of my own inner work, working through another layer of healing to help my business, and I can share a little bit about that in a moment. But as I've been doing that, I've been leaning into the cycles of nature, starting with celebrating the summer solstice in June and really connecting with the moon and what is going on when autumn came with Samhain, or most people call it Halloween. Unless you celebrate Samhain, then you call it Samhain. But really a time that is the thinning of the veils, also celebrating the fall equinox before that. So as I've been doing that, and as I've been embracing the cycles of the earth, I find that I'm less upset about the darkness. I used to be like, oh, come on, let's get through this. When is the solstice so we can start having more light? The darkness births the light. Let's go. And this year, I'm actually letting myself enjoy the darkness because the darkness is a time where things are quieter. It's a time when we can draw in more, where we can really, journal, meditate. It's great for those kind of things. Sit with our warm cup of tea because we can't always be in that yang cycle of summer where we're on and we're going, or that also yang full moon period, the 3 days around the full moon, and even the building to the full moon that happens after the new moon. We too run in cycles. And if you're a woman, you run in cycles. You have especially run in cycles since puberty. And if you're no longer having a menstrual cycle, then I suggest following the cycles of the moon. But what this has taught me is that none of it's bad. And don't get me wrong, working in the field of mental health for 25 plus years, I am aware cognitively and have been aware cognitively that we need the darkness, we need the hard times, we need the rain for the things to bloom when the sun is there. And I don't know that I ever felt it in my body. I was still personally fighting it when it came to how dark it gets in the winter here. However, this year, I've been letting myself lean into it. I had a night, actually, the night leaning into the solstice, where it was dark. And I came home after a solstice yoga practice and I didn't turn on any lights. And I just did my evening by candlelight. I will say I did have to turn on the lights briefly when I spilled spaghetti sauce on my shirt because I'm not used to cooking in the dark or by candlelight. But what I found is that there is a beauty in this darkness. And I'm not here to say, like, oh, depression is great, woohoo, woohoo, but rather to say that this time of darkness in the world, or at least the Northern Hemisphere at this time, is here for a reason. Just like the seeds and the insects are in the soil beneath the snow, and they are doing what they need to do. They're resting, germinating, whatever it is, to be able to burst in the spring. We too need this time to settle, to get grounded, to reconnect with who we really are. So often with our world nowadays, there's all this external stuff, and we have to be doing, doing, doing. Especially with ADHD, we feel so much pressure to be productive and do stuff. And very little is about being. I understand as a yoga teacher cognitively the importance of stillness and meditation. I meditate every day, and now I'm back to doing yoga every day after having taken a year off and paid some physical consequences for that. But I know the value of stillness, and yet I would fight it. It can be so hard in our push push world to let ourselves actually just sit and be. Unless we're depressed and we just are in that wall stare place. That's a different kind of sitting and being, not here to judge, just naming that. And this sitting and being is essential. It's essential for our lives. It's essential for our bodies, but it's also essential for our careers. One of the early people I took a program from, Brandon Lucero, who is excellent at messaging, by the way. If you need to work on your copywriting skills, your messaging, highly recommend Brandon. He's fantastic. His program is fantastic. But I had taken his program, and the first thing he did to teach us how to write good copy was not anything to do with writing. It was about sitting in the silence. It was about letting things come to us, letting our intuition bubble up, and being still enough to hear it. So that the main thing that helps us grow is our own inner journey. And I suspect that's true whether you are in a job or you are owning a business or you're a mother. A lot of our wisest moments come from our intuition, but we have to slow down and tune in to actually hear it. This time of darkness where the world is slowing down, at least up here where it's winter, is the perfect time for that. These next couple weeks as we approach the new year, this is a time of endings. This is a time of releasing so that the new can come in. And sure, not everybody will feel that kind of energy this time of year. I mean, to some degree because of what's going on in nature. However, I used to work with an energy healer who think she called it esoteric psychology, but she talked about the 7 rays and that there are 7 rays to a year and that they're unique to all of us. But they start on our birthday. The first ray is on our birthday and goes for 53 or 52 days. And each ray then is 52 or 53 days, all the way till the 7th ray that leads up to your birthday. And I've always felt this strong cycle now because my birthday is January 6th, so it's right around the corner. The 7th ray is a time of letting go, destruction, letting things die that need to be set free, things that aren't a fit anymore. So this time of year for me has always been one of, kind of harshness until I realized, oh, this is just me going through that cycle, much like in the autumn, the trees lose their leaves. It's not bad, it's just part of it. So that then those first 53 days after your birthday, that is the time of starting to generate, starting to make plans and create. And these cycles don't just happen with your birthday, they happen with nature, they happen with the moon. Every new moon is an opportunity to tune in and reflect. And the time between the new moon and the full moon is a time to plan and generate, with the full moon being the culmination of all that energy. And then the time after the full moon leading to the new moon is a time to, again, release and go back to reflecting. So that when we follow these cycles of our bodies, of the world, of the universe, we live in greater alignment. And our work is just so much better. Not better like good, bad, better. Not like we're going to get a grade, but it's a richer offering that we can make when we take this time to sit in stillness. So whatever you have planned, you're going to be watching this this will come out on December 31st. So wherever you are at that point, maybe pause and see if you can go in and reflect. Maybe you do have an evening by candlelight, though be careful, fire, right? Be very careful. If you have cats, be extra careful. Children, extra, extra careful. Be very mindful. Fire safe, all the drill. But maybe you have some time of stillness so that you can release and leave in 2025 what needs to stay behind to make room for what is coming your way in this next year. And the cool thing is if you're watching this in April, it's okay because you can follow the cycle of the moon to do this. Our days, our months, our year has many of these portals, these energetic shifts where we can be releasing and then sitting with and then building. It just happens that one is right now is one of those. So as we celebrate the season and allow ourselves to still be in the darkness for another couple weeks up here till we really see much of a difference, may you find yourself able to sit in that stillness. And I want to say this because if you have trauma and you're like, oh my gosh, it's too overwhelming, open your eyes, go for a walk. It's okay. It's not a moral judgment if sitting in stillness feels impossible to you. It's a practice, maybe something to work towards if it doesn't feel available to you right now. But maybe you can find relative stillness in other ways, whether through Tai Chi or yoga or a mindful walk outside. If it's snowing, even better, because there's that quiet that happens, especially if the snow is coming down gently. So I hope you find peace this time of year and an ability to release what no longer serves you. I look forward to connecting with you in 2026. Take good care.